Hello everyone, this is Joel with SB Reviews. So today we're going to be comparing the EUHOMY ice maker to the Kismile ice maker. We're going to be covering all the different features, testing out their functionalities to see which one is actually worth it. Okay, so I already made some ice for you guys, and if you see here, this is the EUHOMY. So if I open this lid up, you can see that it has this decently sized basket here, holds about 1.8 pounds of ice, and they even give us the scooper. This ice is sort of like in a cube shape. Now if we open up the Kismile, this also has a basket which you can take out, and the ice is really similar. And they also give you the scooper, so let's put that right in there. And all that ice is a very similar shape as well. Now I had these both running for around 1.5 to 2 hours. So they were both able to fill up most of the basket, I would say about 90 to 99% of the basket within that time period. So their claims on that is completely true. Now, if we were to compare these two baskets here, you can see we have the EUHOMY on my right and then the Kismile on my left. The Kismile looks like it's a little bit bigger and it'll hold more ice compared to the EUHOMY. You can even see from the sides there, it's a little bit wider, a little bit thicker compared to the EUHOMY basket right here. One thing to mention about both of these two is that they are not refrigerators. So you get a little bit of insulation while the ice is sitting here, but it would be smart for you to either put it in a freezer, continue to put more water in it over time. Now they're both pretty similar in their features, almost completely identical. You can see on the Kismile right here, we have a ice button right here. So if we press that, it'll start sucking up the water inside and start producing the ice. There's also add water light here and a ice full light here. You can sort of hear it sucking up that water. And then for the EUHOMY, it's the exact same thing. So you just press this button here, it'll start sucking up the water. But what I am noticing right away is that the EUHOMY is quieter. Add water light, also ice full light. Pretty much completely the same, but the only difference that I see here is that this has a handle on the top here, which you can use to lift this up, carry it around. The Kismile does not have that feature. Okay, so let's do a quick sound test of the EUHOMY. Kind of just sounds like a refrigerator's running, but it's not too loud. Then next we got the Kismile. It's definitely louder than the EUHOMY. Unfortunately, they don't tell us how much the Kismile holds exactly. The basket does seem to be bigger than the EUHOMY, so it's probably around 2 pounds. Now you guys are probably wondering, well, how much ice can these produce within a day? So for the EUHOMY, they say it's 34 pounds, and then for the Kismile, it's about 35 pounds. Obviously, that's not that big of a difference. Of course, it's not going to be that exact amount, but I would say that's a decent amount of ice for parties or any type of group gathering that you have. And also if you have an RV or you're constantly on the move, as long as you have access to water and also an outlet, but specifically an outlet that is a 3-prong, like you can see here, you'll be able to use these ice makers. So I also want to test using these 2 cups here. I'm going to put some ice in here and we're going to see which one melts faster. So this cup is for the Kismile, and then this one is for the EUHOMY. All right, so let's put some ice into this. We're going to use relatively the same amount of ice, just 1 full scoop there. Have about the same. So I'm gonna pour in a cup of warm water first into the Kismile, and then into the EUHOMY. And what I am noticing right away is that the EUHOMY, the ice seems to be lasting way longer, and the Kismile ice seems to be already mostly melted. Now it's not that huge of a difference. So the EUHOMY seems to have a slight edge, like insulation, that the inside of this has compared to the Kismile. But I mean, if you're constantly just filling these with ice over time at a party, it's not really going to make that big of a difference. Okay, so cleaning these out is pretty easy to do too. So you can see here on the Kismile, you got a little bit of water down there. So all you'd have to do is just dump this out completely. There's not a bunch of like cracks and easy to clean out. And it also has a max line right about here for the water. And then the ice of course comes out right here. And sometimes the cubes will build up right here. So you can just use the spoon and then move it out of place down into the basket. That way it can produce faster. Then for the EUHOMY, it's almost the exact same. You can see that we have a little bit of water down there. You can dump this out, clean it out completely. And it's the same thing. Some ice may build up in here over time. You just want to push it out of the way to let it run smoother. Yeah, but I mean, overall, both of these ice makers perform really well. They're able to make a lot of ice in around 1.5 to 2 hours. But what I would say is if you want an ice maker that produces the most amount of ice, that can hold the amount of ice, I would say go with the Kismile. But if you want one that could also make a lot of ice, keep it a little bit more cool so it won't melt as fast, I would get the EUHOMY. Now, if it just came down to choosing one and I needed it for a party, and honestly, this is a really hard choice to make because these are both great, I would still go with the EUHOMY just based off of the fact that the ice is able to stay cool for longer. Even though the Kismile may be able to produce a little bit more ice, it's the quality of ice that truly matters. Because obviously at the end of the day, we want our drinks to stay as cold as possible, as long as possible. So I think the EUHOMY is a little bit better in that category. Because these are both pretty much the exact same, and that is the only big difference between the two, just the quality of ice.